Gwyn picked up the envelope. Inside was a scented card with embossed words in italics. "Gwynnie, look up." Gwyn looked up. Bang! A burst of light erupted from the ceiling. Gwyn shielded her eyes, simultaneously opening a conduit to her evocation sigil, flashing her eyes electric blue in the darkness. With Deborah there, she couldn't just open up a shield. But she was confident that any ambushing enemies would cope a blast of lightning to the face. Instead, banners fluttered from the ceiling. "Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Sweet 16!" Cries of jubilance surrounded Gwyn, startling her so much that were it not for the intimate sound of those familiar voices, she would have let loose a cantrip. Instead, she became covered in confetti and strings. Happy birthday? Her mind spun. That's right, it was her birthday. Come join me as we deep dive into the transmigration fantasy of Metaworld Chronicles by David J Wuto, here on the Board Goddess Book Reviews. Greetings, fellow bibliophiles, and welcome back to my library. I am the Board Goddess, and I am excited to share with you a book like nothing else I have ever found. Within the gratifyingly complex pages of Metaworld Chronicles lies the work of a true world builder containing many intricate layers, all of which are precisely unfolded as the reader moves through this impressively beautiful story. Please remember that by liking and subscribing to my channel, you are helping me to uncover wonderful but sometimes unappreciated stories, and to promote some amazing indie authors. So, click those buttons and keep my channel growing for your enjoyment and entertainment. And, speaking of my videos, here's a fun fact I bet you didn't know. At the end of all of my videos, there's a blooper reel. Hang around to the end credit of this review and have a little giggle. For those of you who are new to my channel, let me introduce Mad Max, my chief ratings duck. My awesome feathered friend will collect all of the important data, and at the end of my review, he will put it together to form a rating to be shared right here by his flock of fiendish book fanatics. Right, Max, shall we dive into another incredible book? Cool. Let's do it. As I hinted earlier, this week I have for you a brilliant book, and another one that is most definitely on my all-time favorites list. Before we move on, I want to point out this book should be categorized as something for more mature readers. Though each scene is handled skillfully by the author and very necessary for the story, for more sensitive readers, you should be advised there is a degree of violence and bloodshed. Poor Gwyn's song. Following a night of drinking, the 30-year-old business consultant anticipated awakening to the sound of a familiar musical alarm. However, she was surprised to discover that the customary song was actually blasting from a device she had never before encountered. Furthermore, she finds herself situated in her uncomfortable teenage bedroom, rather than the well-appointed one in which she had fallen asleep. To make matters worse, there seems to have been a fusion of her older soul with that of her younger self, resulting in conflicting memories and a 15-year-old body. Over time, Gwyn discovers she has entered a parallel reality, where the players in this new life might be the same, but the environment was most definitely not. In her former world, the monsters were her fellow human beings. However, now she finds herself traversing a realm filled with magical beasts, demi-humans, and other worldly creatures, where one's standing in society is determined by their own magical aptitude. Though marked for greatness, Gwyn must learn to balance her combined sensibilities to survive in this new world, facing trials, power plays, and shadow games of the magical elite. She must also grapple with her own dysfunctional family, who had subjected her to a terrible childhood in her previous existence and continue to do so in this life. Wielding rare magic, Gwyn's song is about to experience a wild ride in this new world, a place where failure could mean death. While on another of my unending quests for binge-worthy reads, I stumbled across this gem of a series. This was definitely a lucky find for me, and, to my delight, I discovered after completing the book, the original story is a web novel on the epic site Royal Road. Imagine my happiness to learn that, while I never miss an opportunity to purchase a new release of Metaworld Chronicles. I can also continue to follow Gwen's story to this day. As a side note, those who have been watching my channel know that I am a serious fan of Royal Road. If you would like to learn more about this vast repository of amazing stories, I'll add the link to this site below. I have to admit, I'm a bit of an addict when it comes to a well-written book, and this fascinating world filled with mythologies and genres, interwoven with complex and coherent historical, political, and socioeconomic principles, had me hooked from the beginning. From the moment I started reading this non-typical isekai-style fantasy, I was drawn into the elevated nature of the writing. While this required more cognitive processing to fully comprehend the depth of the story, I could see from the very beginning this was a fully fleshed out world, with a great magic system and amazing character development. I was thrilled to find that the protagonist was not your typical heroine, driven only by altruistic motives, and struggling valiantly for the greater good. Yet, neither is she an anti-hero focused solely upon herself. Rather, she's a woman who's fought her way to achieve her desired position in life, only to be unexpectedly thrust back into her 15-year-old self. Now, facing a world beyond her wildest imagination, the fantastic circumstances will forever change her perception of reality, as she tries to adapt to a new world of magic and science. There is no doubt that it is extremely difficult for authors to create a story which is both fresh and innovative within any genre, but Mr. Wuto manages to do just that. While certain elements of Metaworld Chronicles may seem to follow conventional tropes, such as time loops, magic, and monsters, he imbues these concepts with a wholly unique quality, and then he pushes those boundaries even further. The result can be likened to a tangled briar, winding itself into a beautiful cohesion of intricate facts and knowledge of this alternate world, and captivating the reader as we experience Gwen's journey. From the first page to the conclusion of the very series itself, it's clear that each scene was meticulously designed and implemented, which is a phenomenal achievement in my opinion. The characters portrayed in the story were remarkable and complex, showing a depth of both virtues and flaws. In particular, I enjoyed the way Gwen showed remarkable progress throughout the story. As someone who values a powerful female protagonist, I found her struggles and eventual triumph over her enemies to be inspiring. And, despite her imperfections, she was able to achieve her goals. Further, I found the side characters to be filled with personality, each with individual and distinct dialogue within the story. The author also crafted a vast and interesting background, complete with cultural nuances which I've rarely encountered in novels, online, or in print. This is one of the most gripping aspects of the book apart from the narrative itself. The world itself is meticulously conceived, with logical dynamics that are rational within an irrational realm. It was as though I was actually transported into that parallel place. I empathized with the struggles of the NOMs, otherwise known as non-magical human beings, and contemplated ways to acquire LDMs or HDMs, which is the currency of this world, while becoming overly apprehensive about the tower's internal politics, with its potential to destabilize the entire city. What a wild ride. And that, for me, makes this an exemplary work of literature. While a few other reviewers might disagree, I found the author's rich command of language evident throughout, and this made the experience a rare and delightful treat. The concept of this story is brilliant, as it takes the reader on an unimaginable journey with a flawed, yet brilliant woman-turned-girl who is a genius in many respects. As I previously pointed out, the elevated level of writing in comparison to other novels may not be deemed favorable by some readers. For example, if you're seeking a quick and lighthearted read before bed, which can be completed within a few hours, then you can be sure this is not that book. Let me tell you, I had many nights with little sleep as I journeyed with Gwen through her new life. The language is intricate and elaborate, and I would recommend it for someone wanting to take on an intense and immersive reading experience. An additional aspect that might not be to everyone's liking was the way in which the author provides detailed descriptions of the technical aspects and intricacies of this universe, which, while bearing a striking resemblance to our own, is wholly unique. All right, Max, it's that time that everybody's been waiting for. Are you ready to rate this amazing book? Once again, I entirely concur, dear Max. Because of the simply stellar storyline, brilliant writing, incredible characters, and sensational world, Metaworld Chronicles by David J Wuto is awarded our highest rating possible. 5 ducks. I have linked to the Amazon affiliate page for this book, as well as the stories page on Royal Road below. Please do check out this great series. I highly recommend them. Have you read Metaworld Chronicles? Let's discuss it in the comments, or come join me in my Discord, also linked down below. I am there every day and looking very forward to building a community of like-minded indie book admirers. Thanks to everyone who submitted their request for a video review. I am so grateful for all of you. My schedule for 2023 is now completely filled, but I am now reserving places for my 2024 review schedule. So if you are an author of an indie book who would like me to do a video review of your work, please submit a request on my website, theboredgoddess.weebly.com. The link to the page is listed below. If you are a reader and want to recommend a favorite, little-known self-published novel, please feel free to leave a request for video review for readers on my website. The forum page can be found below as well. Should I choose the book, I'll give you a high five in the review. I am also on Instagram, Goodreads, Facebook, and Twitter. The links are all down there as well. When I don't have my nose in the book, I'm always up for a book chat or just saying hi. And hey, this is thirsty work. If you would like to send me a coffee, I have the link down below as well. So guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Adios until next Wednesday. May your day be epic, and may awesomeness follow you like a sad puppy needing hugs. See you next time. Bye all. He will put it together to...
He will put it together to form a rating.
He will put it together. He will put it together to perform a rating.
And go.
You done?
Perform.
Are you done?
Yes, he's done.
Where's the mute button? We're the players in this moo life. Live in the moo life. In her former world, monstrous entities. To make it in this one. It's me, a Mario. The fantastic circumstances will irrevocably...
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Irrevocably.
I'm going to get comfortable.
Irrevocably.
You can get out the bleep part. I know you can.
Irrevocably.
Perfect.
I just have to say it with gumption, I guess. Irrevocably. Which is a phenomenon. Not another one. Phenomenon. God.
This is one of the most gripping aspects of the book.
Is it?
I don't know.
We don't know anymore. Where are we? What day is it? Let's discuss it in the comments, or come join me in my Discord. You're gonna be in the bloopers now, you know that, right?
I was joining you in your disco.
Thank you. I didn't actually say disco, though.
You nearly did.
I nearly did.